And we are streaming, and somebody has decided to start a game already. Which is fair enough, I suppose, because I started, what, a minute late. Couldn't wait for me. Well, it might just actually be Kriev trying to grab some cheat points against some lower ranking players. But we'll see how that actually turns out in the end. I should actually go and watch this, shouldn't I? We'll see. Kyril actually has some ranking points behind him, so might not go all his own way. Aegon, of course, is a relative beginner. And Rise... Yeah, actually, Rise is a relative beginner as well, but he seems to be getting the hang of the game in a lot of ways. And Kyril's up to a 6th Q ranking. Anyway, I'm going to wait a couple of minutes before anything goes. I am queued up. If another game starts in the meantime, we will begin. Failing that, though, I will start watching the game about 5 minutes to go. Which is going to be interesting. I've also, which you may be interested in, updated the league table, finally. So big thanks to, who I believe is JPB, who's actually been logging them on the thing, so... No, you're still last, sir. Actually, I think you're 5th. You're 4th or 5th currently, but then there's a lot of you've got a long way to go to catch up Urza, who has basically solidified himself as the bronze medal challenger. He's actually closer to me than I am to Viking, though, so I guess the 2nd place is still a thing. Yeah, JPB. I'm fairly certain that was him, so... I also need to go and update Patreon with things as well, so, you know, we'll do some stuff and things and work it all out later. Meantime, we're just waiting for this to start up, or this to start up, one or the other. Who do we want to comment behind? I think we'll go behind Kyril for the moment, and we'll just see how this goes. Well, I'll let you know what you're doing in about 5 minutes, sir. There we go. Okay, so we begin behind the Chiz, and we're going to try and concentrate mostly on his hand for the moment. Reasonable thing. JPZ has a monster hand up top. Provisionally, this is a Chinitsu hand. Depends how the rest of this develops, but either way, it looks quick as well. It'd be brilliant if he drew another North. Yeah, no. Let's not make Furusen reaches. Part of that's just learning how to build hands again. It's part 2. At least once you know you can win a hand and you deliberately don't make Furusen reaches, which is something I still have problems with to this day. Let's ignore that part. That's a lot of a game learned. Okay, so he's got a pair of 8s, so it's probably not going to go to that, but it's still quite a good little Tanpin Apeiko. If he draws a 3 or a 5, that's a kind of perfect hand, actually. I said I was going to focus on Kyril, but there's just that up top is definitely warping things. Yeah, there we go. Reach. Decides not to. That's actually not a bad strat. I mean, it's a good hand. It's Tanyo Ipeiko Pinfu. So it's free Han. That's enough. I might have been inclined to go for that early, but he's obviously deciding to play it a bit cautious for the moment and hoping that the 2-5 will come out. In fairness, the 2 and the 5 are dodgy. Well, the 2 might come out, not admittedly with what we can see on the board, but the 5 is always a little bit of a dodgy one to try and go for. Okay, so Kyril's hand's developing nicely. And he decides immediate reach on 4-7. Problem with this is his discards kind of indicate he's in for a Sozu hand, so it's very easy to defend against. Kyril should drop a 9 here because it's a safe tile. The 9 here is a lot less safe. You can't for a 10. You can't no 10 reach. And no, you're not good enough to be bluffing that. It's the first defensive indicator of what you're waiting on is Sozu because you haven't played any. Secondary indicator would be the free man. However, you played a 1 very early on. So it's unlikely you have anything waiting near there based on that. Dot tiles are a bit of a 50-50. You might have some lower dots based on the 9 dot discard early. You haven't discarded any of those either. So those would be the 2 de-risky tiles, really. Kyril has called a set of 5s, but isn't actually going anywhere in terms of where his hand is. He has no Yaku set up, but he is 1 from effective Tempai there. And that's for dealing. Again, that was a little risky of JPC there. He could have even kept that. He could have kept that, discarded the 3-8, the 5-8. I know that wouldn't necessarily have been safer. They're still slightly dodgy, but he might have been worth trying to call it and see if he could increase the hand value. Maybe get a Sananko, especially since he hadn't actually done anything since he got that 5th turn Tempai. Anyway, so on to Aegon, who has a set of white dragons. Looking around, looks like Kriev's got the best start, possibly. Actually, no. Kyril might have the best start here. Fortunately, West isn't his bonus wind, but he's basically 2 tiles from Tempai. One's not a bad draw here. Unfortunately, he doesn't keep it. If he'd gotten rid of the red, he would have potentially had a 1-3. He'd also have the potential of going for a 1-2, a low Sanch cube, possibly. Maybe even pushing the hand to Chanter, though that would have been an extreme push, I think. Now here he should not call. Good. But he's been rewarded for that and goes for the inside 3-dot weight. It's an early reach, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with this. It pushes the current leader off into an uncomfortable position on his dealer turn. But the 3-dot is an unlikely one to come off in the best of circumstances because 3s and 7s are instinctively bad tiles to get rid of after a reach. And yeah, there isn't a lot of value here. Reach 1 Dora, basically, so 2,000 points as a non-dealer. Actually, he's got a triplet for 2s. He might be able to improve that. It would be better if the 2-so was still alive and he had the possibility of Khans later. Yeah. Oh, this is why you deal in and lose, sir. Might not have been paying that much attention with it, but anyway, the points transfer, as estimated, is only about a 2,000 point hand, 2,600, but it does get in the dealer turn, and sometimes that's all you need. So what's he got for his dealer turn? It's actually quite a good hand. North-south to get rid of straight away. Hopefully hold on to the white dragon. Hope it turns into a bonus pair at some stage. Beyond that, though, yeah, he draws a 2-dot. This hand's just about perfect. That's a good draw. Gets rid of south. He has 1 set. 7's the next loose tile to go, unless he wants to toss the dragon at that stage. Generally speaking, you want to get rid of solitary dragons in the first 3 discards, or try to keep them, which he's going to do. So free man for Tempai, or free man 2-dot. Oh wow, he's already there. It's another early reach. This one I feel, well, he is dealer. Being aggressive on the dealer button is slightly different to being aggressive anywhere else. You can get away with a little more. The problem is with the current board layout, it's unlikely that 2-dot's going to come out anywhere. But he's not to know that, of course. So meanwhile, Aegon has a set of the West, but doesn't actually have a Yaku set up because West is not his bonus tile at the moment. South would be if he had that. West doesn't do a lot for him unless he can get a lot more dots. So let's get rid of the 3, interestingly. One of the ways he could have potentially pushed this on, and I know he's quite new to the game, but with that 3, if he'd got rid of his 4, the 5/6. So he could have pushed towards a chanter or an all outside hand. That'd be one of the ways he could progress it a bit further. And yeah, Kyrill's hand is looking more and more dead as it goes on, because I just don't see anybody discarding a 2 if they draw it. Oh, and he's now disconnected. Hooray. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's unfortunate, really, but after the West call, that was pretty much his only chance of getting anywhere, was to try and force a chanter. So, Horsky gets aggressive. Is he in Tenpai from there? He actually isn't. He's still 2 from Tenpai, whichever way he wants to take this. And that call doesn't really help him a lot. I mean, he's draw 3, which I suppose is enough of a threat by itself to be relevant. But his hand is still 2 from Tenpai. I guess he's hoping that he can bluff the other 2. Although with a person already in reach, it's always a bit dodgy. Now here's an interesting discard, and he decides to fold the 7, which I guess is safe against the reach, which is why he decided to play it. Call number 2. So he's trying to force Toy Toy Dora 4, which is a big hand. But unfortunately timed out. He was just fortunate that his the winning tile was one he could keep if he drew it, because if not, I think he was just going to walk himself into that one. Still, Kyrill has a dealer repeat and has a pair of dragons in hand. He did get lucky there. I mean, admittingly, there were still 4 tiles available, but that's always the risk when you have only one winner, that they will not come out because of other people's hands. As mentioned, all 3 of them had hands that could have taken that 2 dot quite easily. Okay, Aiken calls north. He has a pair of dragons this time, so his hand's not dead. But as I've mentioned before, it's not usually a good idea to call before you have your Yaku set up, because if somebody else has a pair of red dragons, it just will not happen. And sooner or later, you will find a game where incidental pairs of dragons are dealt to each other. What's really amusing is when both players are need that dragon to win and have decided to go aggressively, assuming it will. If you have 2 bonus pairs, absolutely call away. You got much more chance of it working out, and the chance of you being double screwed on the Yaku are remote. So, where are we looking here? So, Kyrill's still 2 from Tenpai, but he's going to have to get rid of one of his pairs along the way. Kriev's hand's looking interesting. Mind you, though, there's a ridiculously good hand brewing from Mr. Rise over there. So here he should get rid of the 2s. Gets rid of the 5. Interesting. I guess there's not really a difference between the 2 here, but the 2s have less tiles that can be helpful, because there's no... The 5 has the full run of... there you go, reach. Of 3 to 7 that can be helpful to it, whereas the 2 only has the 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 so might have been better, because that gives him the potential for 2-sided runs, so he could have turned this single run and pair into a double run. He's also now heavily reliant on getting this free. So anyway, Kriev's early reach is on a... What are you waiting on? Double 5. Okay, so double 5 weight. Okay, Dragon. He can call this for Tenpai. 8 past. So he's in a 5-2 weight. Hi, Anyan. How are we doing? And how's that badge working out for you? Alright, so... Yeah, so Aegon's close. 4, 6, 8 is a really good waiting pattern to have. Now he draws any incidental middle tile, and he's basically there. If he drops for 9, he's in a really good shape with that. Quietly. It's not worth a lot of points, but... Okay, get rid of the 8 from his hand. That's a common trick. If you want to confuse people, always discard the tile from your hand rather than the one you just drew. Happy birthday, sir. What can I get for you? Okay, so here dropping the 9 doesn't really make a difference, but it's likely to be safer than the 6. My cookies! Very well, sir. I will attempt to make some cookies and send them to you. So Aegon is... Oh, Aegon was Tempai, but decided not to throw the green, which is actually safe. 3 of them are out, so it's a lone one. Here's where Kyril has the risky 5 and decides to play it. Actually, I've just noticed that Kriev's hand is actually dead. Here we can change the hand up for an inside 6. Decides to keep the 5-2, which is sensible. And Aegon unfortunately deals in. Dealer repeat, Haku only, but it prevents a reach, picks up an extra reach stick, and keeps him dealer, which is the important thing. But yeah, again, a reach which effectively was dead on board, but obviously he had no way of knowing that. This is a much more interesting hand from Horsky here. This is what I would call a calling hand. Unfortunately, West isn't his bonus wind, but there's potential there. Especially if he's got the 4th pair set up. So I imagine he doesn't need much of an excuse. He's going to call like mad and get that one. Meanwhile, what is Aegon doing? Toy. You'd have to stretch it very hard to get to 1 suit. Okay, slight pause because JPC can call this. How are we doing here? We still only have 2 we still only have 2, which I assume is me and Draconis. Okay, so Kyril is up to Ishan 10 for 7 pairs. Okay, so Horsky's now going for the dodgy plan of, I've got red dragons, let's go for it. Unfortunately, this does work out for in his favor. He now has the Honitsu. So he has the backup plan. The good news from here is he's kind of indicated that Sozu are safe, so if anybody wants to try and play around it, they can do that. Dots was risky. What is he waiting on? 9-6. Aegon makes a double call. Plays the East. Four's potentially dodgy. Plays the 8 instead, which is even dodgier. So he's kind of committed himself to 7 pairs, and that's not something you want to be doing, even if that's where your hand seems to be developing. You want to try and keep runs open, because invariably there are more solutions that way. Alright, Aegon's getting nowhere near an actual hand, unfortunately, but still. Not much up there. White Dragon, which is played. 6, so doesn't help much. Why would you play that over the 6? Do you think the 6 is dodgy? Most of the 7s have been played, which is why it's not really worth keeping. I'm just trying to work out. No, it's about the same odds if he's going 7 pairs, I suppose, but... It's got to be a Horsky play. Oh! No, I was certain you'd deal into that. Fair enough, then. Okay, Tuso. Yeah, I was certain Kyril was about to deal into that. But apparently he doesn't have his blinkers fully on. There he goes. He's drawn another one of the winner tiles. I think... Are you drawing dead yet? You're not drawing dead yet. Riichi 7 pairs. Yeah, okay. Basically Dealer Mungan with all the bonus points. So Horsky is now within Dealer Mungan of death. Aegon is actually sitting in second place with all the shenanigans that have been going on. And JPC is going to go for a Kakashi Maso. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually not a good hand for it, but I don't imagine he's got anything else in his mind right now. Especially if he draws another one imminently. If nothing else, he's got the Honitsu set up. He can go for a... or something there. Third turn reach. What's he actually got then? He's on a... This is a better weight, so it's a 5-8. 5s are obviously unlikely, but the 8 can come at any time. Question is, does he fold? And he does fold. So Kakashi off, and we'll see what happens. White Dragon. So actually, this is not a bad recovery hand from JPC here. He can go for a Honitsu, or he can go for something outside worthy. He's got his Yaku now. Which is the disadvantage, which is a good thing when you're folding these sorts of Kakashi hands. They can sometimes develop into really nice ones if you're lucky. Plays Green Dragon. Called. Unfortunately, that East is going back. Plays 7. Okay, Kara's on the attack. Everyone's on the attack, actually. So Aegon only goes for Toy Toy. That's possibly because it's the only Yaku he knows that works, but... Well, I'll tell you what, he's getting somewhere with this. In fact, he's nearly into a Chinitsu. At this point, you should probably... I mean, if he knows what he's doing, you should toss the 3 again. Yeah. Okay, there's a 5. Toss the 3. And the self-drawn. So the dealer streak ends. Reach double red. Yeah, it's actually not a bad hand. Yeah, it goes to Hanneman. So I think that's good enough to put him into second. Okay, so Aegon is dealer then. He has a pair of Wests. And it wouldn't be a bad hand if Aegon knew how to play it, I guess. It's at the very least a quick hand, but I'll tell you what, Cairo has got an amazingly quick hand here. If this can pay off for him. South, unfortunately, isn't his bonus tile, and actually South is locked by JPC, who has the pair of them, and it's his wind. So those Souths are going nowhere. 1 over the red 5 is always a preferable exchange here. Goes for that instead, which is fair enough. Plays the 6 dot, West Wind. This is what I mean by sort of the South exchange here. This can so easily happen with bonus tiles where just somebody else incidentally has the other pair, meaning they can never get the triplet. Hey, if your luck is in, you got to push it. That's part of Mahjong. Push your luck when you have it and try to ride it when you don't. Okay, so bit of an aggressive attack by Chiral here, obviously hoping to get that red dragon set up. Which Aegon may or may not give to him here. It actually doesn't. That's a good draw for... It's a good draw for Rise. I think that's very near Tempai for him. Obviously he'll be waiting and hoping for that South, but... But if he just pairs up the 8 or 9, say... I mean, he's even got an outside chance of a Sanchiku, which he's... If he were to draw the 7, that's going to be awesome. Chiral has done something bad in about 5 minutes. Or he's hit another Yakuman. As Chiral has, in competitive play now, hit a Yakuman. This is annoying to me. I've yet to do that. But no, he goes and hits little wins. Oh, misclicking. Yeah, that happens. I've done that enough times. He actually posted it on our Discord server that he'd done it. But yeah, he goes and hits a little win. So I was so... No, it's fine. It's nice to see. And he was on the, obviously on the Mahjong lists because they kind of have them somewhere. But it was the first game as well, so he actually knocked somebody out with it, and that was game over. Okay, JPC decides to call the Reach, which is... So he's got the... And that's unfortunate. Now, that's unfortunate for a couple of reasons. Not just because he's basically given Kiev a double call in, but that 6 is almost dead unless Kyrol decides to fold here. Because one's played, one's in Horsky's hand, 2 are in Chiz's hand. But other than that, it's a Reach Sanchku. It's a very nice little hand. Meanwhile, Aegon is kind of nowhere. But Tenpai. He needs that red dragon, otherwise he can't do... Oh, that's just mean. Well, that's all of his outs now down. So, JBC's Reach effectively dead. There's an outside chance Kyrol would play one. But only if he needed a pair, and his hand's not really developing fast enough to make that matter anyway. Well, you can't reach if you call, sir. Here he should probably got rid of the 3 of the east. I imagine he played the 2 for safety, though. So, last discards. He has Carnage, but I doubt he takes it. Although he could take it and negate the last draw, I suppose. He plays the 7. Oh, jeez. Well, that's a Mungan. Mungan JPC is dealer, and Kyrol has lost his commanding advantage in 2 hands. He's still in the lead, though, but now he's definitely within range. In fact, Mungan Sumo by anybody who isn't Aegon basically overtakes him. So again, playing the dragons early. The only downside for playing the dragons early is it doesn't give other people safe tiles, but early game that's usually less important. Okay. So Oski has his triplet of dragons, which is always a nice place to be. And now Kyrol's going to have to avoid declaring Khan for quite a while. Yeah, this is a good shape to have, actually. But, yeah, on an online game, this is going to bug him like crazy. Now he could probably get away with it. He has a pair of the 7s. But he should get rid of a 7, not of the 9 here. Gets rid of the 5 instead. That was more useful as a pair, I think, but we'll see how this develops. Sorski breaks up his 2, 4, 6. Okay, maybe just Kyrol's going straight for Chinitsu here. Decides to Khan then, and then drop the 5 that was beneficial to him. Yep, that was a misclick. That was a misclick, sir. Well, now you're going to fight the through a 10 hand of not much going on. Aiken, meanwhile, is slowly building up nicely, it has to be said. I wouldn't have said 7 was necessarily a panic misclick there, but... Hello, sir! How are we doing? Yeah, I think at this point, Shinichi is the plan. It kind of has to be. The problem is, he's kind of cut himself off a bit with the middle Khan there. If he'd have kept it concealed, he could have gone either way with it and maybe Khan at the end once he knew what he was waiting on. Now he has to pull this. Yeah. It does make this 7 very isolated, but he had to do that. Tosses the red 5. Actually, this is a point, Korea. Husky, you haven't declared reach on your 2-4 dot weight. What is wrong with you? Or more to the point, what's actually scaring you enough to not declare reach here? Because it's certainly not all these calls. That never works on you. Yes, but you said that 5 minutes ago. That could have meant anything by now. Besides which, pay attention to your own darn game. If you're trying to watch what's already happened, sir, that is cheating and I won't have it. I will not have people gleaning information. Even in 5 minutes, it's possible this game could have gone on for 5 minutes. I don't know what the timings are exactly like, but, you know. If I'm doing it, I will add a stream delay back in. So here, Cairo kind of has nothing going for him at this stage. I guess he now... Alright, technically, it was a really obscure one, but he technically had a Yaku set up then. But unfortunately, his Yaku was Itsu, and he needs a 6. As it happens, he's now given Horsky the lead. So, South 1. Oh dear, what did you try, sir? What, Chinitsu? I guess so. That was the only thing you could have gone for after you heard the Khan, really. Had you have kept that as an option for later, you'd have actually been in a lot better shape to go for it. You even had the Itsu at the end, so... You know, that clearly would have worked if you'd have had the Itsu instead. But, I don't know, it's another game, different draws, because obviously Khan moves the draw along. So it's kind of conjecture at this stage. I could go and tediously work out whether that would have been advantageous in the long run, but... But, I mean, Mahjong is about keeping your options open a lot of the time. I mean, there are lots of options at various points. Some hands are nailed into a particular Yaku and you really don't have much leeway with how you go about it. But your hand was still very flexible at that stage. Until you called the 6s. Here as well, I mean, getting rid of the 1 would have been better. They did it a while ago, but no worries, sir. Here, you're now 1 away from 7 pairs. One versus 5. I think about the same odds, really. Although, actually, no, there's 2 1s, so technically worsened your odds slightly with that one. 1 does not get called over there. Okay, gives up the T. 7 pairs, goes for Toy Toy. And something bad's just happened to rise. Well, spoilers, sir. Some of us are 5 minutes in the past. Alright, so it's not bad. At this point, Chiral now, this is what I meant by options. If he draws the 6, he has Ipeiko. Actually, no, he doesn't have that, but he has the Tanyo. 5 helps. Get rid of the red dragon. There we go. So he now calls any of his pairs, and he's got Tenpai. Drop the 7. Fails to take Tenpai. Okay, cool. Husky's obviously trying for a possible... Oh, wow, I had just realised what Aegon's hand is. Okay. So, Aegon has gone for a... Yeah, I've not been paying attention to Aegon's hand, and that's a mistake, because Aegon's hand is looking monstrous. Chinitsu with 2 Dora, currently. I mean, he's still got a ways to go, but it's not impossible. That's probably right for him not to call. He needs the 5 of the 3 rather urgently, both of which look unlikely. The 4 helps. Oh, the wrong 4. He didn't play that 4. I don't think you can call him the last discard either, so... Oh, I didn't get played. He nearly had Chinitsu Tenpai. Oh well. JPC takes the points there for the draw. Chiral moves to dealer turn. Let's see what's going on then. Yeah, I should pay more attention to board state if I've got all 4 hands open. I'd have a tendency to just tunnel vision on what seems interesting, and I've been ignoring Aegon a little bit, which is unfair. So, Kriev has a very Chinitsu, Honitsu at least, like hand. Especially if you compare either the North or the Green Dragon, both of which are his bonus wins for this hand. In the meantime, he's probably looking towards 7 pairs. Gets rid of the green. I would be inclined to keep that, but you've given a safe tile away. Wow, okay. This is looking good. Unfortunately, I know spoilers, it doesn't work, but it looks good. Yeah, Chinitsu with 2 Dora was Byman. That would have put him back in the lead pretty much if he'd have managed to complete that. I mean, the tiles just weren't there, and in fact, JPC had a lot of his winners still left. So, we have a game. Apparently, that game ended. Therefore, I'm going to mute this game. And we will see what happens. So, I am the starting dealer, and bye-bye, 1 man. I don't care about that hand, sir. In the slightest. I care that I just tossed a pair for no reason, but hey. So, we have an Aegon to our right, we have Horsky to our left, and we have Doom across the table. Let's see what happens. Alright, Dragon on discard on the 3rd. We're probably keeping the green for the moment until we see it safe. Okay, that's quite helpful. I think in this case, we're getting rid of the middle red, the middle 5. It's always a bit of a dodgy thing to do that. 9 is also kind of locked in as our pair, but I might end up getting rid of that for the Honitsu. So I see an East, I see a green, so both of them are tossable in the moment. Yeah, if I'd have tossed them instead of the 3, I'd have been better off, but oh well. There we go. Okay, so there's one green dragon left we can call. I might go and watch it in the end. It kind of pauses and does things, so we'll see. Alright, just the 8. Okay. This is looking good. Yeah, that's the same configuration we had that me and Doom were stuck in for a while. So either green or white dragon gets me to, not quite Tenpai, but it gets me guaranteed the Honitsu here. You might get lucky. Nine should be safe. I actually have no idea, but it's not going to happen. And not just because he won. So, yeah, unfortunately I had a monster that was kind of brewing, but unfortunately that ends it. I think you technically can, but I can't remember the rules. Sure you are, sir. Anyway, a good Tenpai is only a Tenpai if it wins. I might as well play the North. One's already been played. I'm not going to likely get it at this hand at the moment. And we'll pass the West. I've done that a lot. Don't worry. These things happen, sir. I don't. It's the learning experience ultimately, and it's a little unfair that I get to see all your hands in those sorts of situations. Because while I am commenting, I'm also aware that I would have made exactly the same mistakes given half a chance. So the good thing about that little scenario is that I've got 2 safe tiles if I want to use them later. It's also a pair, but obviously it's the pair I'll be getting rid of if I draw the 3 or the 5-8 that's here. Prefer the 3 obviously because that gets me closer to an actual Pinfu Yaku. Okay, 1 south has been played. I'm not sure if that actually helps me or not, but we'll toss the West for the moment anyway. We know they're definitely safe tiles, so... Possible bit of info there. Okay, that's perfect. Alright, so 1 from Tenpai. It's not a particularly good hand unless I get the Pinfu side of it set up, but... Yeah, okay, against 2 calls, let's go for it. So 5-8. It's fairly obvious that I'm after Manzu or dots of some kind. Let's just see what happens. I don't think Aegon wants any Manzu tiles based on his discards. But it's self draw anyway, so we'll take it. So Riichi Sumo Pinfu. Well, I'll take some points from everybody, and I'll put myself within touching distance of the lead. We move on. Okay, we have 2 reds, which always is a nice little bump to the hand value here. And again, this is kind of looking towards a Tanyo, well, Pintu at the very least, I suppose, with that pair of 9s we got. So ideally, we need to draw a 7 just to get that as a run. Beyond that, I guess another pair. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so we got one of the inner tars we needed. Just trying to work out if I have an outside chance of getting Sanchiku from this, but... Actually, I guess we do with that draw. Okay, toss for 2. So draw a 6, get rid of 9, get rid of 9, and then we're there. It seems like the most optimal way this hand can go. Of course, I've got other routes. And until I get an actual dedicated pair that isn't the 9s, I've got to keep it. So if I draw the 6, I've got to go for the free-sided weight on the 8. Just pin through double Dora. Does that help? Probably not. So 3, 6, 9. If I do draw the 7, I can at least go. I can't really go for half of it. Chance there. I have a double run, and then I just need to draw any dot tile. Red Dragon's safe. Yeah, Manzu are the worst tiles to be doing against that, but let's see. Okay, what's this for 9 here? I don't have any easy safe tiles against that, but I've actually now swapped my pairs over, so that's perfect. And Aegon deals in. So that puts Horsky into the lead. He's now dealer. But I've got a good hand. So this is a fast, aggressive dealer killer hand, really. 2 bonus tiles I can call with. Easy escape route to Honitsu if I need it. And he's designed to be aggressive. He also decided to play Vidora on the second turn. Now, South isn't a bonus tile for Horsky, so he's kind of committed to Toy Toy or Honitsu. So we'll get some clues as to which one in a little bit. Oh, we'll just keep going. In truth, this hand isn't really all that good, so. As I say, it is a dealer killer hand because I've got the bonus triplets, I've got things going from there. And we're going to keep on the Honitsu route. It's probably greedy. Probably too greedy here, but if I want to try and incorporate this Dora. Well, there's one Dora left. Actually, there's no Dora left, so that's kind of committed to be my pair. That's the only problem with the hand at the moment. But if I can pair up either the north or the west, then this is it. Failing that, a 2 wouldn't be a bad draw right now. But Honitsu, bonus tile, 2 Dora. I was debating something there. Okay, so that's 2 wests gone. That means I can't wait on the west. Because I can't get a triplet of it, there's no point in keeping it. In fact, it's almost better to bail. Even if I end up in a fur 10 here. There's no 8s left, so 7 pretty much has to go. I suppose I could draw a 6, and that still gets me somewhat of the way there. If I draw a north, then I've still got that option. 8's not much better given the 9 route, but... So here I'm just trying to optimize a little bit. 1 north blade. Okay, so we can win off the last 7. But it is now a hell weight. Plus side, with all the 8s gone, it's unlikely anybody wants it. And that's dodgy. If it wasn't for the fact I had a Mungan hand here... Nobody should be discarding this 7, although it is a safe tile to Horsky. No, he's going aggressive. He's obviously on a Honitsu plan. So if he does have a 7, he's unlikely to be playing it. Or at the very least, he really shouldn't be playing it. We'll see if he does. But yeah, so there's one left, and his possibility is in the 14, of course, so... Yeah, that's a big hand. It's definitely worthwhile if he's got it. Do you mind imagining he's trying to fold this way out of this mess? 2 dots to safe draw. Discard there, but Egan can call it.
Hung.
You can call it the right name or you can't do it. So, what I was thinking with that... And that was a nothing hand. So, my thinking was, basically, was there more chance of getting that than the Hellweight? And arguably, yes, but I wanted to keep the value there. So, Hinitsu Toy Toy, yeah. He dodged a potential buyman there. Arguably wouldn't have made a difference either way, but I probably should have discarded the 3. The only problem with that would have been, had that have happened, I'd have lowered the hand value slightly. It also would have, I don't know, I went with value rather than necessarily the odds. Still, that was not a good hand. Mine at least was a buyman. That was a game-winning had I have made it. Actually, it might not have been buyman, actually. That might have only got to Hanneman, but still. Non-dealer Hanneman is still worthwhile. So what, Toy Toy, 2 bonus tiles, 4, 2 Dora, yeah. Guess it wasn't quite there. Get rid of the 8 as well. Want to hold on to the south, at least for the time being. Also, Egan is really low on points, so I might have to try and force something in a little bit just on that basis.
Boom.
As it happens, this is actually worse than the previous hand, which you might have been talking about, but, you know. Well, I'm going to try and force the Honitsu, since I've kind of done that anyway. If I can get up to Chinitsu, that'd be amazing, but it's looking less and less likely as we go on. Need Horsky to drop a 6, ideally. Okay, so we've got double run, 6 closed, and hopefully a pair of something. There's no ones left. There's actually a lot of Sozi tiles that have been played, which is a little depressing on my end. Oh, let's do some quick mathematics. South, west. Yeah, west. I've already played one anyway. So north still has a chance of being drawn as a pair. So there's 1, 2, 2 souths played, 2 norths played. Actually, there's 3 norths played. North is out as well. I don't know why I'm keeping this. So Doom is debating something.
Boom. Boom.
Okay. Tempai. Tempai is only on the free, so unfortunately, but
Chi.
and somebody's burning their time up again. Oh, in fact, that's Doom with disconnect issues, which is a little unfortunate because he's just played a red 5. That means he doesn't want the 7. I say free so? No. It wouldn't actually have made a difference, so I just figured I'd keep it. So Hosky's the only one in no 10 from that. I mean, you could have tried for the Toy, and there's just no point from there. Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think you're in chat necessarily.
Boom.
Okay, so Kriev is going for a dealer killer turn. Yeah, no point in calling that. That's actually kind of dead in our hand as well. Let's toss to number 2. There's nothing too exciting from this hand really, unless I draw a 2-man. Well, 6 is kind of helpful, I guess. Let's get rid of my closed 1-3. I want to keep this one because this obviously has Fedora incorporated into it. But I now have 4 pairs. I have a triplet. Three more insane draws, and I'm Tempai for a Yakuman. That was not such an insane draw. That just looks like I'm doing silly things. I possibly am doing silly things, but you know. Okay, double Dora. So now we're going Toy Dora Dora. Had I have kept those 2s and discarded a little more intelligently... Yeah, there were. The what ifs. The what ifs. They will kill you eventually. So there's 1-9 left, which is the one downside of going for this particular toy.
Kang.
As an upside, somebody is walking into a Yakuman situation. I am 1 away from a Yakuman. No. I'm not going to give up a potential Yakuman for that. Safe tile. Come on. One time.
Home.
Yeah, play the safe tile. You are back, sir. And whatever you don't talk about this particular hand.
Home.
Which unfortunately is no longer Yakuman, but I can't ignore Dora 4. Tenpai. As much as I would have loved to reach here, Dora 4 Tenpai is definitely worth having. Because a dealer showing free Dora is not something you want to be messing around with. There. Well, Egan's still just about in. Which is the one concern really here. I'm just going to end up in third and not doing things. It's fine. I didn't have much choice about that. That will happen. Especially when you go for restrictive hands like Toy. But... Well, anyway, we have a Dora Dragon in hand. Okay, so double run. We're actually really close to Tenpai already on this one. If I can draw the 3-6 ideally, then I have the potential for Tanyo Sanchiku, which is probably just about what I need right now to get back into this game.
Home. Home.
It was probably on the cards, but we'll see. 6 dot ideally, please. Last North. Not going to take that. However, Doom is going for quick wins here, so he's trying to round out the game right now. Which is fair enough. I'm actually going to risk the 5 here because otherwise I'm going to have problems risking it later. Also provides me a possible Ipeiko if it comes up.
Don't.
Yeah. That was unfortunate, but something I needed to consider with that, really. At least it wasn't Aegon. So we have a couple of shots with this left. So 9b9b9 and call. Yeah, I'd call that a bluff weight, but honestly it was Fedora, so I should have been a bit more considerate there. Well, if it was Aegon, the game would be over. That's the consideration on that one. At least here I'm in third and I still have shots. They need to be quite extreme now to overtake Doom, but... No, sir. What I meant was, at least it wasn't Aegon who had dealt into Doom, thus ending the game. Thus meaning that I definitely finish in third, as opposed to most likely finishing in third. That was not a slight at Aegon, that was a wishing the game would go on so I have a chance to dig myself out of third place. There we go. He has 2,900 points. He's dead to anybody sumoing for more than 3 Han at the moment. So what I'm looking at here is probably Pinfu Wandora. And that's slowly looking less and less likely, actually. Hey, could do. Not impossible. Kind of wish I'd stayed on for that Yakuman now in all hindsight, but hey.
Each.
We'll toss the 8 for the moment. In all honesty, Husky's making risks he doesn't need to stay second, but I guess he is chasing the lead, so... Draw the 3 being a double weight.
Each.
I'm in third, so I've got nothing really to lose by trying. But this is also a nothing hand, so if I do accidentally bust Aegon out, it'll only be from a direct hit, so I can choose not to take it. However, direct hit with 2 Dora. And the Apatsu. There we go. We'll have a Mungan, we'll have our points back, and we will take second place off him, because he decided to reach. Alright, good start. So I need a lot of points to get... I need a lot of points to catch this up, but... I don't know. I've got 3 Dora, actually. Yeah, comeback might be on. I mean, I've got to draw the 1 to Karn it, but... Or I can go Toy Toy in there. If I call this, I'm committing to Toy Toy. Should have taken it. I might regret that, but I'm trying to keep the Yaku set up here, so let's just see. I need to... I can call any of the others. Well, yeah, this hand can reach Byman.
Boom.
That makes my Karn a bit of an error now, but still, I've got to try and incorporate all this if I can. Problem is, I don't think anyone's going to play that 5 dot. And that's kind of what I need to show here. I need to show Dora 4 Toy Toy, because that's Hanuman territory. Direct hit is enough to overtake Doom. That is directly enough to threaten him, and that will make him consider stuff. Meanwhile... Well, nothing yet. I need somebody to be really nice and play a 5-dot for me. Or I need to draw a pair of something I've already got. Okay, there's not a lot of 4s left, so I might cut that if I'm trying to force a toy. This is a potential of locking me in a Furitan trap, but I've got to have a go. I've got to go for it. There's slightly better odds that I draw a Friso here. And for the same reason, I'm back and forthing a little bit here, but I need some luck now. Ideally, I need to draw a 5-man.
Each.
1,000 extra points on the table is not a bad thing for us. So I technically have Tempai. Got to take the Tempai, unfortunately, here. And yeah, I know I'm taking the for a 10 Tempai at that, but... Oh, this is going to be horrible now. That's really just a threat to get Doom to fall, but at least I know if he does, there is another game to come. So... I could have called that for more threatening stuff, but, you know. Hello, sir! If I'd have kept the 6 a little earlier, I could still possibly have pulled this off. 5 Zasuji. Yeah, I didn't have a Yaku there, but there were plans. And I gained 3,000 points on Doom. I still need a direct Hanneman to hit him, but... Oh, that felt like that was the shot. Felt like that was the shot. No, Doom is Draconis. Just with a slightly different name. There's no Power Enchant here, and it's 8. So how do I get to a Hanneman to do this, then? I think best bet... I mean, I'm secured second if I can just pull off a win here. But best bet is to go all in on this sideways Honitsu plan. Double south. That... Hope I get something else incidental. Maybe a Chanter. I mean, if I do pull off a Chanter, that wouldn't be too bad, I guess. Oh, Dora. Yeah, okay. We're going to go all in on this, move this to Chinitsu plan. Chinitsu and Dora is enough, but I'd still need a direct hit from Draconis, and it's not likely to give that to me. Yeah, we're not going to go in for this at the moment. We're forcing it, but we need to force a hand that's big enough to actually threaten. Alternatively, Aegon needs to score a Sunbowman on Doom. I think that gives me the... Actually, that forces the repeat rather than gives me the win, but hey. So, Chinitsu, Itsu... Unfortunately, all the 9s are gone, so I can't Shirin Poto this. But, Riichi Honitsu with Dragon would be 4-5 with the Dora. So, not impossible. Problem is, it's getting less and less likely as more dots appear. And Aegon might have a Chinitsu. I'm thinking escape plan to just cover Horsky off here. I suppose there's another outside possibility from this. I'm one away from another Baiman. And I could win on a Baiman Sumo, I think. So Honitsu 3, Toy Toy. Sorry, Chitoitsu 2, Dora 7, Reach 8. I think I'm going to stick with a plan. Problem is there's no 9s left. Well, this is huge. This is game winning if this gets pulled off. Why would you play the 5? I mean, I need the direct hit from Doom still to be guaranteed of anything, but... He's avoided 3 monster hands this game. Ah, well. So we have the score for the end, which I'm just going to record down. I might do one more. Depends how depends how the other queue goes. It's fine. I honestly just need to teach you the game, that's all. And then you can play properly. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing in terms of the game style, but obviously you need to have a plan, which is difficult when you don't know all the ways you can win. I'm keeping a rough eye on things, but if another game does start up, I'll play one more. And that's not a bad way to go. I mean, defensive styles are definitely more... Well, in theory, that's how I play, but in practice, I don't. I try to make decisions, and when it comes to the end games, I try to make the really big plays. But honestly, what did I lose that hand? Like that last game, I definitely lost to Hanneman. I think it was only a Mung in the second one, but I had to give up a Yakuman. Although that was because somebody dealt Fedora, and I had an opportunity to go to Tenpai with free Dora, which, you know, or rather, Toy Dora 4 as it was. So I kind of had to take that one. So that was one dismantled monster hand, and then that last one. Assuming I Struve a Sumo, that was Reach, Honitsu, 3. Toy takes me back up to 6. 2 Dora takes me to Baiman. Sumo takes it to 9, and any Uradura takes it into Sun Baiman territory. Which would be just about the biggest hand I've ever won in this game. Oh, there's a quick resolution of that one. There's one more spot available if anybody wants in, but... You ruined my hand! You speak as if Sandbymans are a common occurrence. They're not. Actually, Sandbymans are probably rarer than Yakumans in a lot of ways. I've only ever picked up two or three Yakuman in actual game terms, and never on Tenho. All of them were Kokushis. Hey, you want to take Fedora to your hands, sir. But you want to keep Fedora. Fedora are worth points. You need to hoard them. You also need to not discard them to other players to give them lots of points. Unfortunately, one tile away does not cut it. Not cut it in the slightest, and we don't care. We only care about the Yakuman, sir. It's why I'm not making any more deals about those monster hands I got. I'm begrudging missed opportunities, sure, but I'm not saying I would have won if, because that's not how Mahjong works. Also, I don't think double Yakuman are a thing on Tenho. Okay, so we are currently playing behind. Currently playing behind Doom, who is starting dealer and has a reasonably nice hand with one slight downside in that he has the dragon, which is Fedora Indicator, as a pair, so it's less likely to be calling to go off, I suppose. Or more risky for him to do so. Of course, if he gets that last white dragon, then of course he's going to take it and go. That being said, the rest of the hand is going quite rapidly for him. Okay, good draw for Chiz. JPC is 1 away from 7 pairs. He's drawn the last white dragon, which is just about the best draw he can make, really. So 1 from Tenpai. West 8, 9, 6 for East Dragon and Tenpai, yeah. It's not a lot of value behind it, but it's good. It's always good to get a dealer win under your belt early. So JPC's going aggressive here. I don't know what he's necessarily thinking here, and possibly push for Chanter. Although if he was pushing for Chanter, he shouldn't have got rid of a 7. Should have got rid of his pair of 6s. I suppose he's thinking he can get a dragon pair. There's still 2 available after all, and one of them is Dora. Okay, North call for cheers. So cheers is definitely on for the half flush.
Riichi.
And there we go. Viking with the early reach with a 3-3-6, I want to say. So a three-sided wait for him. Yeah, I think I'm going to come out. I'm going to call that a stream there. At least in terms of my involvement in it, unless a lot more people turn up. So I'm just going to watch this game out.
Sumo.
Self-drawn for the Viking. So that is non-dealer Mungan to start. Which is a shame because somebody else had just got to Tenpai. Okay, so east for the Northwind Doom. Who, again, this is a really good starting hand, actually. It just doesn't have a lot of value unless he completes a couple of bits. Meanwhile, though, I think Kairo's got the best starting hand of anybody looking at that. That's very easily Pinfu, Tanyo, Reach, and Sky's the limit, although he's just lost Tanyo. Doom goes for the East call. I suppose he got out. He could push this for Honitsu if he wanted to try and instill some. That was possibly an error. Don't know why he got rid of a 6 there when it was still tied to his hand. Maybe he's thinking of going the other way with it, but getting rid of a 7 now he's got rid of a 6 is definitely worthwhile, but it is an odd one. So West Wind, White Dragon, and 9-so. Yeah, 9 mana even. Ugh, tired. Okay, there we go. So Kairo's now 1 from Tenpai. He's finally hit his optimal draw, although he'd be better off if he still had his 6-7. Because then he'd be in a position to just go reaching away. That might be because I'm not in a queue, sir, if you were paying attention. Okay, so he's gone for the regular side here. We're just looking at what's available. So there is a 3 out, there is a 2 out. In fact, there's a couple of 3s out. So I feel this is the lesser of his outs. I'm not sure entirely why he went that way. Doesn't give him any bonus tiles or anything, so I'd have been inclined to keep the pair weight. So the 2-2 pair weight.
Riichi.
And there we go. So reach from Cairo with a 3-sided weight. Or not. He's gone 2-5, removed his Pinfu. Did get the Ipatsu, though. But you just killed the value of your hand to do that, sir. If you get the 3-sided weight, you'd have had a reach Pinfu I suppose it got the one anyway, one Urudura, but that was technically the wrong discard. Meanwhile, yep, didn't think he'd look at that. But he does have West, South, and an easy Honitsu, which is definitely a much better prospect than going to try and push a 13 Orphans there. Wouldn't mind Viking losing some points at the end of this, I'll be honest. No, he's slightly more than that, actually. He's probably about 180 in the lead by now. I forget what my actual minus was in this game, but I did finish third, so I lost some ground. Also, FYI, there's not going to be a main stream next week. There may be a Mahjong stream, though if it is, it'll be normal-ish time, by which I mean late in the evening. And it'll depend how I feel afterwards, in all honesty, so... Workouting, so I can't promise I'll be in any state to properly Zhong. And also, we are 1 month away from the end of a tournament. Because with my girlfriend being over, I will basically... Yeah, so we'll have the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th. And the 24th will be the finale. And whoops, that's Steam. And then that trophy will probably be given back to Viking. I mean, this is anyway, but you know. I'll have to add a second name onto that sticker and it'll be the same name as last time. Or possibly a Euro 2B. You can have a trophy if you are earning more than points than our certain current leader and champion, who has unfortunately just picked up another Honitsu win. Who discarded that? God darn it, Draconis! No. For one thing, just no. And for two things, just no. So yeah, just an aside here, this is the current leaderboard. Provisional before obviously the games take place here. So there's some ground to make up from some people somewhere. Oh, also Aegon's technically on this now. Yeah, I'll have to add Aegon on the bottom. Bear with. Score tracker AB, and that's going nowhere near far enough across, isn't it? There we go. We'll sort out the actual rankings and whatever else later. Yes, you're technically in the top 17, sir. 17. Also, this is a bit of a good hand developing at the bottom. See if what it actually turns into by the end, but there's some nice hands around.
Riichi.
Okay, TPC, the Rise with the Reach, which gets called. Unfortunately, it's a Pinfu 258 at the moment. Not anything too special. But I think that's going to make Viking fold. It does. I don't even know if you get a notification for that, but carry on. Yeah, that's looking impressive at the bottom. So there's a lot of Sodies. Okay, so he has Tempai. Does he have Tempai? No, he doesn't.
Don.
Does, however, deal into the JPC, and that is 5,800 back to the dealer. No, 3 times, sir. I relegated you again at some point earlier and gave you it back. I just like that I occasionally need the things. Okay, what is Viking looking towards? He's looking towards another heavy hand here. He's got Center West, North, neither of which is bonus tiles. Could try and stretch it to a Honitsu or a Toy Toy, but beyond that, it doesn't really have a lot going for it. Especially as he's tossed a lot more dragons.
Chi.
So, JVC, 2 Dora, but not a lot else going on. I suppose he technically has an Itsu chance, which I think he's what he's looking at. Problem is, he still needs a couple of specific tiles for that. That's one of them.
Chi.
Yay, definite Itsu. Auto, I forget what the way it works, but basically you can choose not to draw any tile, not to call any tile, so therefore it skips over your chance to do so. One is to auto discard, one is to, I forget, I don't use them very often, if at all. Largely because I keep forgetting which one's which. There's also, however, the window color, screen, etc., so I can change this to a wine. Or I can go for white tiles for no reason, which actually just look a bit weird here. However, I tend to play stat. Actually, no. Where was I? Darn it, Agan, you've made me completely break what I actually have for this. Yeah, there we go. Default. But you can find these things out. The information is available in the Arcus Tenho guide, which is online somewhere. Google knows. So you are. Carol has a lead over Viking. They're going then to JPC and then into Doom, otherwise known as the possible Draconis. So JPC's hand's a little bit of a mess, but if you can get rid of those free honor tiles, we'll see. Carol is not happy at himself. And that's twice in not very much time. It happens, sir. Don't beat yourself up over mistakes. I've had really bad games of Mahjong that I've recorded and are available for everyone to see. Technically, this will be as well, but don't dwell on that. In all honesty, yeah. I mean, first 10 Riichis can work as bluffs, and I've definitely used it for that effect before, especially if it's a situation where I really have to self-draw for whatever reason. Sometimes point requirements demand it, depending on the value of your hand. But it's something you want to check before you click the button. That's the important thing. You've got 5 seconds of thinking time after a draw, and you've got a stock of 15 seconds anyway. So you want to be sure to use that. Did you just give him the Itsu, sir? Yep, you did. Well, I guess my... yeah, that gap is just going to grow to over 200 points now from this. I mean, it was already looking tenuous because I was losing a few points here, but this is a definite win for the Viking. Short of miracle happening. But it's in East 4. East 4 and now can just basically play casually, calmly, and just take the win. He's still dealer, so he might attack for this round, but he's not going to go too aggressively into anything that doesn't really give him a lot of benefit. Might go for a quick Dragon Dora win. Or if he gets an opportunity with a hand that can knock somebody out, although the only person he can knock out currently is most likely Draconis, if he can get it up to a Mungan hand. Which isn't impossible. He's kind of building towards something, possibly 7 pairs. So, keeps Fedora. I agree, Rise. I agree completely. Just tell me how many points you've given him. I need to know whether I'm putting a plus 70 or a plus 60 onto his point score now. Oh wow, he's going to pull off the Sanchku here. He's definitely going to reach for the Sanchku at that point, because that's pretty much game over, and he's got a good shot at knocking out Doom if he gets it. Does he even need the reach? So Sanchku, Dora, dealer turn. Yeah, he could probably hit that if he gets close enough. It definitely fits in a Persona theme. I'll be honest, it does. Or does he go for the open one? Okay, that's fine. For some reason the 8 was going to get discarded, but... Because he's dealer, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him to call that Being Tenpai for a Sanchku. Yeah, I can see the trap coming up here. Carol's going to be for a 10 for this 5 dot he discarded earlier. It's another reason you don't get rid of middle 5s, quite aside from they're useful for other people. It's harder to make yourself for a 10 if you don't get rid of middle tiles early on. Otherwise, you have to kind of build around what you've done here. To be honest, The moment this 3-4 develops, you probably wanted to consider getting rid of it because of the early 5 discard. Otherwise, you're just hoping you can complete that before this becomes a problem.
1
Still. See what develops. I think, yeah, he's kind of folded this one a little bit. So, in fact, yeah, he perfectly did that. A closed weight on the 5, and that basically, yeah, that's it. It's also a dead draw, but that's beside the point. Yeah, if he'd waited a turn, he could have possibly changed something on that one. It ends up dealing in. It was a Dora weight in any case, which is always a little dodgy, but... Well, Doom moves up to 2nd from that. And Viking now just has to knock 5,000 points off of Chiral to take it, and those are 2 good hands there. So the 2 people in 2nd have a good shot at this. Okay, Green Dragon Gold. And again, similar reasoning here. He hasn't got his White Dragon secured. It might not ever come up, so you don't want to call incidental pairs and force yourself. I suppose he could have tried to force the Honitsu here, but even that's a little dodgy with all the tiles he'd have to get rid of. At least 3 and hope for an East. I completed that, sir. Yeah, I technically finished that. There are other ones, but I actually don't know those games as well, so... Okay. Red Dragon Carnage. Unfortunately, he could have waited on that, I feel, a little. At least until he had his hand a bit more secure. Now he's given the opportunity to others to just attack. See, now that card makes a lot more sense. So what Viking is doing now is being aggressive to try and force the game a little more. Or lock in his Sanshikyu, I suppose. Good for you. Well, a good thing from Karos' perspective here is he now is there for a west wind only. And there we go. The advantages of a silent Tempai. Takes enough points to put himself out of trouble. Not enough to put a dent in Viking's lead, and I think he'll take that given the Khan and everything else that might have been going on around that. Still has a bit of a commanding lead here. Doom is on the same points he started on in South and is now in South 2 with no dealer turns remaining. So he needs something rather impressive to come back. Well, I guess from Kara's perspective, it's probably worth considering the full flush here. He's dealer. He needs something that is definite, and that looks the most definite things. Nah, he wants his trophy. I wouldn't do that to him. That would be mean. Also, yeah, he's kind of getting somewhere. He's gone for the half flush rather than the full flush. In fact, he might still want to get rid of a souths here and just try and force it. Especially if he draws the 6. Yeah, dump. Okay, he decides to keep... He's still 1 from Senpai, whichever way he goes with that, but... I think he'd been better off. I think he'd be better off trying to push the value a little bit and try and force the... I guess he is dealer, so he doesn't necessarily... He just needs a win rather than the win right now. Here is where someone's going to risk a live dragon, isn't it? Nope. Oh, there we go. Triple south. Toss for 9? No. He's got to toss to 5, really. Go for a 9-6. Tosses the 8, goes for a 6 close weight. Which, there's only 1 left. I mean, I get he wants to keep the red 5, but that he needs to go 9-6 on. Okay. And deals in. Yeah, doing much better on my 9-6. But it does look as if he's going to pick up a few more points from this one. Well, we got 5 minutes, and unless that did happen...
Riichi.
GG! Okay, so a quick 2-5, and that is probably it. Ipatsu as well. Well, just give him more points, why don't you? Well, that's going to take him well up above his current high score of 712. So, what can we do here? Well, the game may have started, but I'm not going to be joining it, so we'll just need somebody to go and post that one in the results. So Cheers, Doom, Horsky, and Agan will have one last game. I think they had the game earlier on today as well, actually. So we'll let that play on and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, though, I just want to see what happens with this. It's looking... I don't know like Chiz has gone the pot a bit, really, with that call and this discards. I suppose he's trying to force a Chinitsu, but... nothing else in his hand looked like that call was worth going for. Yeah, that's definitely a tilt hand. I mean, in all honesty, that's a bad hand even starting, assuming you had all those in your hand at the time. Ah, well. I know what it's like to be in sort of a losing position and trying everything to desperately keep the game going. But honestly, in that position, you want to be... all you're really thinking about is how can I get to a Mungan Baiman hand? Or better if you can manage it. So literally you're looking for just Doras or just staying near Tempai as much as you can. It happens though. When you're in last by that much, you have to take the risks, and that's, you know, perfectly acceptable. So I think this is quick call and win at this stage, isn't it? He's one away from basically reaching for the game. He would have to reach as well, wouldn't he? No. Oh no, he's got Southwind, of course. So he can win on the south. Unfortunately, that would require Chiral to discard one. Is Doom going to end on his starting score? That is the important question. I was expecting something to happen at the end, but... okay, Silent Tempai, 3-6. And that's looking like a fighting hand right now. That's... oh, I didn't want to try the Ackerman out. And that's going to be game and Doom to secure second. Which, in fairness, is all he really needed to do here. I guess he's just pondering on whether he should have taken it or not. But he has no chance of getting into first, realistically, with this hand. So, that is the game. That is the result, plus 65 onto his score. So, that's going to be rather difficult to deal with, I think, towards the end. There is a game in progress, as mentioned. If somebody can post the results of that once it gets completed. And, yeah. Thanks for joining me as always, and we will again Mahjong next time. I mean, I guess if he was trying to secure second rather than going for the overall win, which in fairness was out of his hands, might have been worth it, because he would obviously had to worry about potential hand from Rise. I guess, but it wouldn't have been too many. Either way, what's done is done is done is done. So I will say goodnight, folks. Until then. Well, kind of is. Kinda. Good night.